Welcome back. The details. After holding talks tackling mutual relations and a number of issues of common concern, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and his Bulgarian counterpart, Minister Maria Gabriel, held a press conference in which they stressed that political dialogue between Egypt and Bulgaria should continue on the highest levels. Here are more details. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry held a meeting on Saturday with his Bulgarian counterpart Maria Gabriel at the Foreign Ministry's headquarters in the new administrative capital. The two top diplomats held talks on the Egyptian-Bulgarian distinguished ties and means of boosting them in various domains, as well as a number of regional and international files, on top of which the Israeli genocide war in the Gaza Strip. The talks were followed by Egyptian-Bulgarian joint committee meetings. Shoukry and his Bulgarian counterpart also held a joint press conference. Addressing the conference, Shoukry reiterated Egypt's full rejection to the Palestinian displacement, whether inside or outside their territories, warning of the Israeli bombardment of Rafah as a new dangerous escalation which will definitely lead to more. Egypt's top diplomat pointed to the catastrophic repercussions of the Israeli bombardment of Rafah, where nearly 1.4 million Gaza civilians are evacuated and cannot defend themselves against the Israeli brutal military offensives. Shoukry added that Israel refused the Paris deal filed by intelligence bodies, asserting that Egypt continues relentless efforts to reach a sustainable comprehensive ceasefire and to stop displacement in Gaza, as well as guaranteeing the flow of humanitarian aid to the war-torn enclave. Shoukry also highlighted that the United Nations warned of the current escalations and stressed that Egypt and Bulgaria agree on achieving peace upon the two-state solution. Meanwhile, the two top diplomats discussed ways to end the Russian-Ukrainian crisis and announced that the high-level Bulgarian delegation visit to Egypt witnessed the signing of several memoranda of understanding in different fields. For her part, Bulgarian Foreign Minister said that political dialogue between Egypt and Bulgaria will continue on the highest levels, expressing her country's keenness to enhance cooperation between defense ministries of Egypt and Bulgaria. She also added that her country will support Egypt's partnership with the European Union. On the sidelines of the first Egyptian-Bulgarian Joint Committee, Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Mohammed Zaki, met his Bulgarian counterpart Tudor Tagarev. Official reception was held in the headquarters of the Ministry of Defense as the musical troops played the national anthem of the two brotherly nations. The talks tackled ways to enhance military cooperation on mutual sides in various domains, and they also tackled the current repercussions of the regional situation and their reflections on the stability and security in the Middle East. Minister Zaki stressed the deeply rooted ties and mutual cooperation between Egypt and Bulgaria, and vowed to continue with exerting the utmost efforts to continue with more consultations and cooperation between them to boost the security and stability of both countries and of the region. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait warned on Saturday of the catastrophic consequences of the Israeli offensive in Rafah, stressing that the occupation imposed evacuation on hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who sheltered in Rafah as a last resort, rejecting the Israeli plan as a flagrant threat to regional stability. Abu Ghait's spokesperson Gamal Rushdi stressed that the evacuation of hundreds of thousands is a disastrous breach of the international humanitarian law and is a dangerous move that surpasses the red lines of the national security of a big regional power, Egypt. Abu Ghait asserted that the world should realize the fact that the Israeli practices pushed by its radical ideology are implementing full ethnic cleansing, a crime which has no place in this era. Israeli airstrikes killed 17 people in Gaza's Rafah overnight as over a million of Palestinians cramming into the border city await a full-blown offensive with the rest of their enclave in ruins and nowhere left to run, while Hamas warned Israel Rafah push may cause casualties in tens of thousands. Let's have a closer look.
The Palestinian resistance group of Hamas warned on Saturday that Israel's planned army operation in overcrowded Rafah could cause tens of thousands of casualties in the city that has become the last refuge for displaced Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered his occupation army to set its sights on Rafah, telling military and security officials late Friday to submit to the cabinet a combined plan for evacuating the population and destroying the battalions of Hamas in the southern city. Hamas said in a statement that any military action would have catastrophic repercussions that may lead to tens of thousands of martyrs and injured if Rafah is invaded. Witnesses reported new strikes on Rafah on Saturday, killing at least 110 people overnight, including 25 in Rafah. The UN Children's Fund, UNICEF, warned this week against a military escalation in Rafah, saying thousands more could die in the violence or lack of essential services. Netanyahu's announcement coming only hours after US President Joe Biden had issued his strongest criticism of Israel's response to the October 7th attack, sparked concern among world leaders and the United Nations. The U.S. State Department has said it does not support a ground offensive in Rafah, warning that such an operation risks disaster. Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi warned another bloodbath in Gaza cannot be allowed in a post on X. Spain and Germany joined Saudi Arabia in warning of humanitarian catastrophe if the plan went ahead. The Israeli genocide war in Gaza started last October when the Hebrew state vowed to eliminate Hamas, and since then at least 28,064 Palestinians were martyred, mostly women and children.